Hello friends. Hello my budgeting friends. Welcome back to Managing Mona's Moolah, or welcome if you're new. I am very happy that you are here. This channel was established to document my mortgage payoff journey, which I successfully accomplished last month in November of 2024. I do paycheck to paycheck budgeting. I cashed off my cash envelopes and some savings challenges. I like to share unboxings with all of you, goodies that I purchase and I unbox. So I like to share all that. All things budgeting. I like to share all that and learn from you as I go. I have a paycheck to budget. I do paycheck to paycheck budgeting. Every time I get paid, I have to tell my money where to go. This is my final paycheck for 2024. It has finally arrived. I am so grateful for the past year. I accomplished very important goals and I am on to new adventures for 2025. But for now, I have a paycheck. I need to budget. I need to get this money situated. Let's delve right into it. Thank you so much for being here again. I'm enjoying my coffee this morning. Here's a cheers to you, my friends. I have been using the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom for the past few years. This workbook I used during the calendar year of 2024. It has served me really well. It's really large though. So we're going to get into my paycheck budget here in just a minute, but this is the Budget by Paycheck workbook. It's much smaller. This is the one I'm going to be using in 2025. So I'm really looking forward to using this. I'm going to set this off to the side for just a moment. But let's turn to December, which is the final paycheck to budget for this calendar year. Woohoo! Made it. Another calendar year gone. I can't believe how fast time flies. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I wish you blessings and happiness now at this holiday season and into the new calendar year. I am going to be budgeting my paycheck of December 20th. This is payday. So I am looking ahead for the next 2 weeks. My next paycheck will be received on January 3rd. So right after the new year. Okay, so let's budget this paycheck of December 20th, and it will last through January 2nd. This is my calendar spread for the new month and the new year coming up. This is for January. I have a lot of my bills that are already in. These stickers are from Etsy, and I forget the name of the shop, but I can place the link in the info box once I recall the name of the Etsy shop. They're not made for this specific planner, but they fit just fine for my needs. So again, this final paycheck that I'm budgeting today is going to last through January 2nd, 2025. So I am ready for January, ready for the new year. This is going to be a really nice workbook to use. I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just sharing the tools that work well for me. I've been using this tool for the past several years. So let's get back to this workbook. All right, so let's turn to that final paycheck budget tracker here. The paycheck date is December 20th, 2024. This covers December 20 through January 2nd. I always have a cushion in my checking account, so that carryover cushion is $287.12. I never draw my checking account down to zero. I always leave a small buffer in there in case an emergency happens. I have a little bit to dip into. Here is Paycheck 2 of 2. This is my full-time salary. And that is $1066.09. Now, this paycheck is my amount that is left in my checking account after everything has been deducted. I am aggressively saving for retirement, so this takes into account many different deductions that have already transpired, giving, health insurance, 401k, savings, all those different items have already been taken out and sent where they need to go. This is what's left in my checking account. So I am going to add these two values together to come up with what I am going to live on for the next 2 weeks. All right, so let's add these two together. $287.12 plus $1066.09. So that gives me an inflow total of $1,353.21. Now, the reason why I have been budgeting for many, many years now is because it's so important to tell your money where to go. One of the principal lessons I learned long ago is it doesn't matter how much you make. If you don't know where your money is going, you're always going to feel broke. So it's always important to map out a plan for your money. So this is just a plan. Plans change. They're not concrete and set in stone. But I always like to have a plan for that money. I work hard for my paychecks and I need to make sure that I have enough to cover my 4 walls. And my 4 walls just simply means transportation, clothing, food, things like that. You know, the utilities, things to make your household run that you need to live on for the next 2 weeks. So I think it's really, really important if you're embarking on a new year to begin your budgeting, just remember that it's not meant to restrict you. It's meant to tell your money where to go so you live within your means. You have all your bills paid for. You have a little bit set aside for an emergency. And the longer you do this, the more you'll get used to it and you have control over your money. It's a very empowering and freeing feeling and way to live when you know you have all your money planned out where it needs to go. So that's what I try to do every 2 weeks. That's what I mean by budgeting paycheck to paycheck. Every paycheck dollar has a job to do, and it's important for me to direct that money where it needs to go. So this first section right here are my fixed expenses, and this section here captures all my regular reoccurring bills, normally natural gas, electricity, cell phone, internet, things like that. All right, so the first fixed expense is my cell phone bill. And my share is $50. And what I have done in preparation for the next segment of my life, the last 5 years of my working career, is I've really tried to minimize a lot of my fixed expenses. So I'm only paying the bare minimum. I don't have any credit cards or a lot of these streaming apps like Netflix and stuff like that. My roommate takes care of all that. I have really tried to minimize all my expenses. So what you'll normally see here is just those fixed expenses that I absolutely need to live: cell phone, internet, gas, electricity, water, home security, things like that, that I must pay to keep my household running, okay? So you're gonna see that I have minimized a lot of these fixed expenses. So the next thing I need to do is make a payment towards my Visa credit card. Now, when I do use my Visa credit card, I pay it off within that same pay period. I don't leave a balance paycheck to paycheck or pay period to pay period or month to month. I always pay it off within the same pay period. So my paycheck must be able to absorb whatever I charge. The only reason why I like to use my credit card is because I accrue points, and those points can be turned around and be redeemed for gift cards, groceries, shopping. These are gift cards that you can use anywhere you shop. So I like to reap that benefit when I can. So I have a credit card payment of $340. And that is, I purchased a new floor lamp for my living room. I purchased that from Amazon. I also purchased a new end table for my living room. And I also purchased a brand new pair of Nike walking shoes. I love to exercise, go for walks. So these 3 items came out to approximately $340. So that's what I'm gonna pay. Then I have another Visa credit card payment that I need to make. And this is $247.65. And these are for some Christmas gifts that I purchased. Now for Christmas, I wanted to buy some items. So this is for my mother, my sister. So I have some Christmas gifts in there that I purchased here recently, so I have to pay that off. And I am going to give myself some Christmas money here. This will be for food, gifts, travel, decorations, anything that I need now for the upcoming holiday, and I'm going to budget $300 for that. So I need to buy some gifts for some friends and family that I didn't already purchase here, so I am going to go ahead and set aside that money for more gifts. So that's all of the mandatory items that I need to pay this pay period. So I'm going to go ahead and add that up real quick, like to come up with my fixed expenses total. Okay, so let's start out with $50 for that phone bill, $340 for these items that I purchased for my house and some new Nike walking shoes, $247.65 for Christmas gifts, and $300 extra for Christmas money. So that total is $937.65. And I'm going to subtract that from 1353.21, and I have a remaining balance of 415.56. So this next section captures my variable expenses. These are my day-to-day cash needs. So I am going to budget for that here. And I have the same typical variable expenses paycheck to paycheck. They rarely change. My first category is my allowance. I always set aside $100 a paycheck and I tuck that in my wallet. I do not want to feel broke, so I put that money into my wallet and I can spend it as however I choose. I can donate it, I can spend it on coffee or whatever I want, guilt-free spending, okay? The next is my groceries, and I'm going to budget $100 this time because I do have that Christmas money up here that will help me with food and travel and decor that I might need. The next are my fur kids. These are my pets. I always budget for food and toys and treats, supplies, cleaning supplies for them. So I always budget something. So here's $50 for my fur kids. Next is my car juice. This is my gas for my car. I always have a little bit of gas money set aside in case I need that. I have miscellaneous. I tuck $20 in there in case a minor emergency happens. I have $20 extra for that. And I have giving. I usually save this money up and I take it into my favorite charity offices. There's a couple that I spread that money around to. It's just where I am able to actually walk in and see somebody and talk to them. It's already taken out of my paycheck, but this is just extra on top. Because everything is so impersonal and done electronically, it's automatically drafted and sent where it needs to go. But this is my own personal way of walking into that establishment and greeting somebody with a smile and supporting their cause because I believe in their mission statement. So that's what this giving, it's just extra on top of what I already give. So I'm going to add these variable expenses to come up with my total. So I have 100 for my allowance, 100 for groceries, 50 for my fur kids, 30 for car juice, 20 for miscellaneous, and 20 for giving. So that's a total of $320. So I'm going to subtract that from the leftover up here of $415.56, and I get a remaining balance of $95.56. Now I have several sinking funds: car maintenance, home maintenance, birthdays, and gifts, and this is always scooted into my savings account, and that's why this is 106609. So I've already taken that out and put it into the savings accounts that it needs to go to, so I don't take anything out in cash to cash stuff for my sinking funds. Those are left in my savings account. So that $95.56, is carried forward, and I am debt-free. So I am bringing that $95.56 to my extra savings. Now what I am going to do is leave this in my checking account as a buffer. It's a checking account cushion. I always leave a little something in there just in case I need it. So $95.56 is what's going to stay in my checking account in case I need it later on for an emergency. Or maybe I run short on groceries or gas. I could pull a little bit from this buffer. So 95, whoops, I made a mistake. Savings total is $95.56. And that is what's going to stay in my checking account. So it's pretty simple this time around. Even though I am debt-free, yes, I'm debt-free, but I have paid my credit cards in full. I don't like to carry balances into the next pay period, so you will see me on occasion using my credit cards, but I don't have any lingering balances to carry forward into the new pay period. So I'm going to just do a summary, final calculation, just to make sure that my math is correct. So I had a cushion in my checking account of $287.12 plus the leftover paycheck of $1066.09. So that leaves a balance in my checking account to live off of $1,353.21. So I'm going to take away $937.65 for various items here. So that leaves $415.56. Always my variable expenses are planned in, and I'm going to subtract $320 for that, which leaves $95.56 as my cushion, and that does leave a zero-based budget. So every dollar is planned out. Every dollar has a job. I know it's pretty simple this time around. Into the new year, I will be establishing a sinking fund for my property taxes and my home insurance. So I'm going to start doing that. That'll be a new sinking fund category. So other than that, that takes care of this paycheck. Thank you so much for being here. Always budget, tell your money where to go. I hope you're having a beautiful and wonderful, peaceful holiday season. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. Please come on back. I have a brand new paycheck into the new year to budget. I hope to be on a little bit more regularly here on YouTube. I took a vacation, and so I am back, and I'm ready for the new year. I wish you all peace and blessings. Thank you. Bye.